The first time the pain became louder than hope
When the
was
city
on a cold
outside the
morning.
window
The
kept
life
moving.
inside that small rented room felt
4
completely
years in
frozen.
America.
Still, the silence felt heavier than the day
The
of
dream that
arrival.
once sparkled like
Now
distant
felt
city
like a
lights,
cruel
flickering
illusion.
and fading with every passing
This was
breath.
not the America I imagined.
This was
back
loneliness
home.
wearing the mask of
Exhaustion
opportunity
dressed
and a
as
heart
success.
stretched so thin it was about to tear.
Before the story goes
If you
deeper,
believe in kindness,
second chances, and the quiet strength
please
of the
take a
human
moment
heart,
to like this
comment
video.
your thoughts, share it with someone who might
And
need
subscribe
hope
to
today.
our
Moments
channel.
of love. Your support helps these stories reach the hearts that need
4
the
years
most.
earlier,
America had felt like a promise whispered directly
the decision
into
to
the
leave
soul.
everything behind was not
Family
made lightly.
tears at the airport,
The weight of unspoken fears and the responsibility
traveled
of
together in one
expectations. Back
suitcase.
home, people believed America could fix
They
everything.
believed hard work always
That
paid
struggle
off.
had an
And
expiration
that
date.
sacrifice
would surely bloom into
With that
comfort.
belief burning
The
in
journey
the chest,
began. The first year was
by
fueled.
adrenaline and survival.
Everything was new, fast, and overwhelming. Streets were wider, people walked
And
faster.
time felt more expensive than
Days
money.
blurred into nights filled with multiple
Long shifts,
jobs.
aching feet, and a constant fear of falling behind.
Every dollar earned was counted,
Saved and
sent back home as proof that the dream was
Smiles
alive.
were forced during video
While
calls.
tired eyes avoided the camera.
The second year brought reality crashing
The
in.
excitement faded, replaced by routine
The
exhaustion.
body learned the rhythm
but
of
the
labor.
heart began to feel neglected.
Friendships were shallow conversations,
and kindness
rushed.
often transactional.
People were polite, but
surrounded
distant.
by invisible walls built from their own
Loneliness
struggles.
was no longer
It became a
occasional.
quiet roommate that never left.
America taught independence,
but it also
quickly.
taught isolation just as fast.
There were
no familiar voices calling from another
shared
room.
meals without
no
watching the
warm
clock.
reassurance that everything would
Illness
be okay.
was faced alone.
Failures
Success
were swallowed
went
silently,
strangely
because there
hollow.
was no one nearby who truly understood
The third
the
year
cost.
was the hardest.
The body was still working, but the spirit was growing
The
tired.
mind
carried two worlds
the
at
life
once.
being
lived and the life that was left
Guilt
behind.
became a constant
Guilt for
companion.
missing birthdays,
Funerals, weddings,
and everyday moments that could never be replayed.
Guilt for changing as a person.
Guilt for not becoming everything everyone
Sleep
expected.
became
shallow dreams, restless.
The future felt uncertain and the present felt
Every day
unbearable.
required effort just to
Bills,
exist.
paperwork,
and responsibilities piled up like weight on the
thought
chest.
of starting over felt
But
terrifying.
continuing felt even
This
worse.
was the
year when endurance began
Then
to
came
crack.
the fourth
The
year.
year when the heart finally admitted the truth it had
No
been
matter how
hiding.
strong someone
There's
is,
a limit to how much loneliness a soul
the
can
dream had
carry.
turned into survival
And survival
mode.
alone was not enough anymore.
The mirror reflected someone older,
quieter and emotionally worn down.
Success
on paper could not erase the
Yet something
emptiness
unexpected
inside. Began to happen.
Small
in that
moments
darkest
started to
season.
matter
A
again.
stranger holding a door open when hands were full. Offering a simple smile without
message
reason.
from
Arriving
home.
at the exact moment when giving up felt
These
easiest,
moments were
but they
tiny.
pierced the darkness like pinholes
Slowly,
of light.
the realization
that
formed.
endurance did not always mean pushing forward
Sometimes
blindly. Endurance meant listening to pain
It meant
instead of
acknowledging
ignoring
loss.
unmet expectations.
It meant understanding.
That strength was not proven by
But by
suffering
choosing
and
what
silence.
truly nourished
the
the
perspective
soul.
shifted. America was no
Nor
longer
was
the
it the
enemy.
savior.
It was simply
A difficult,
transformative
that
chapter
stripped
and
comfort
revealed
away.
the core of who someone truly
struggle
was.
had built
Empathy
resilience.
and a deeper understanding of human fragility. Healing did not come suddenly.
came
in waves. Some days were hopeful, others unbearable, but the difference now was awareness. The pain was no longer unnamed. The loneliness was no longer denied. There was power in admitting
that enduring
the truth.
without purpose
and
is
that
not
choosing
bravery.
peace is not failure. Gradually, life began to feel lighter. Not easier, but more honest. Boundaries were set. Expectations
The need to prove
were
anything
adjusted.
to anyone slowly
The heart
dissolved.
Learned to
And in
forgive
that
itself
forgiveness,
for
strength
not being
returned
in
in a
gentler
quieter
form. By the end of the fourth year, endurance took on a new meaning. It was no longer about how much pain, but about how much love and meaning
Whether
could be
the future
reclaimed. LED to stay. The most important victory had already
courage to
been
choose
won.
emotional truth over
The
silent
moment
suffering.
endurance broke was not loud.
It arrived
or dramatic,
quietly.
like a final exhale after holding breath for
4
too
years
long.
of
Pushing forward had trained the body
But the
to
heart had
survive
begun
anything.
asking
a different
Not
question.
how much more can I
but
take?
why am I still taking it? That question lingered through sleepless nights,
Following
following every
mornings.
step like a shadow that
Life
refused
in
to
America
leave.
continued at its
Work
relentless
hours
pace.
stretched responsibilities,
And time
time
slipped
slipped through fingers faster than
something
ever.
inside had
The
shifted,
weight was still
but
there.
it was no
longer invisible. Acknowledging the pain did not weaken
It
resolve.
clarified.
The realization settled in slowly that
When
dreams
plans
do not
change,
die. Sometimes they simply transform into something
The
more
hardest part
honest.
was facing the fear
From
of
afar,
judgment.
the story looked successful. Years abroad, money earned, sacrifices
But
made.
success
without peace felt like an unfinished
The pressure to
sentence
appear
that kept
strong.
the truth locked away for too
Now
long.
releasing
that pressure felt both terrifying
like
and
stepping
freeing.
out of a
Without
storm.
knowing what the sky would look like
Memories
next.
from home returned more vividly
Simple
than
scenes
before.
replayed endlessly.
Shared meals, familiar laughter,
unhurried conversations,
and the
comfort of being understood without
These were not
explanation.
signs of weakness or
They
nostalgia.
were reminders of what had been missing. The heart began to recognize that belonging
was a need
not a
change,
luxury.
did not
come as a single decision,
but as many
small ones, choosing rest over exhaustion, choosing honesty over pride, choosing emotional health over appearances. Each small choice felt insignificant,
But
but they
together,
formed a quiet rebellion against a life built only
The
on
days grew
endurance.
more
Even when
intentional.
circumstances remained difficult,
Compassion
unexpectedly,
for others
seeing
deepened.
struggling coworkers,
Strangers.
and fellow immigrants became easier because it was so
Everyone
familiar.
was
carrying something
just
heavy,
hidden differently.
That understanding softened the bitterness
Inside
that had been
pain
growing.
no longer felt
It felt
isolating.
shared, and in shared pain there was connection. The idea of
became
the
a
future stopped
possibility
whether
again,
it
a
meant
threat.
staying, leaving, or starting over entirely.
fear
lost its grip. The truth was simple.
Nothing
but
was
powerful.
wasted.
Every difficult day had shaped
Patience
resilience
and
empathy. The years had taken
But
much.
they had also given
strength
depth
and clarity. Eventually, peace stopped feeling like a distant
started
reward.
feeling
like a daily practice.
Some days were still heavy,
but they were no longer hopeless.
Healing
did not erase
It
the
reframed
past.
it.
The struggle became a story of survival, choosing life over silent suffering. And that was the quiet victory. Not applause, not dramatic success. But the courage to listen to the heart when it finally spoke. The courage to admit that enduring endlessly is living fully. The courage to believe that starting again is wisdom not failure. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of your own sacrifices or moments of loneliness, please take a moment now to like this video, engage with it. Your interaction stories like this reach others who may feel alone. And before the story ends, we have one special request. Please comment below. Tell us what kept you going during your hardest years. Your words might be the hope someone else desperately needs. Because sometimes enduring is not about staying strong forever. It's about knowing when to stop enduring alone and start healing.